guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. We are so happy you're here. Today I had somebody reach out to me maybe last week, and asked me what is an altar book, and they just didn't understand. And when I brought it up in a kind of a group that a group of people I ask, hey, would you like to see a video about this? Everyone, I think is it 20 now? It's 15 or 20 people I kind of check in with and go, hey, would y'all like to see a video about this? Or do you think this is something that you guys would like to see? And it's kind of like a focus group, I guess. And they said, yeah, altar books are confusing. I've been doing this a while. I finally figured it out, but it took me 5 years. And then I have some new people, and they're like, I don't even understand. What are they? So anyway, I decided that this video would be about altered books. I'm super excited to get started, so come a little closer. You know the drill, and we'll get into this. What I thought I would start out with is how I pick a book. Because there are two different types of bound books, and one is definitely better than the other when you're picking a book for an altered book. Now, I'm going to put these up. Okay, there are two types of books, and it's all by the binding. If you can tell, the book on top, the blue book, each page is glued into the spine separately, okay? Each page is unto itself. Now, and the red spine is glued in like signatures, like we make in our journals. You can see each individual signature glued in there, okay? So the one on top is the pages are each glued in individually. The one on bottom, signatures are glued in. And if you use the one on top, it's easier to pull out your pages. Where the one on bottom, you have to be careful. As you know, if you tear one page in the signature, you're actually tearing two. And if you tear the center, then you've kind of collapsed your whole signature. So when I'm looking for books, I definitely want one like the blue book where each page is glued in individually versus the signatures. So, okay, we're going to use individual page book here. Now, what do you do after you get the right book? Well, I've already started one, so I thought we would continue with this one, but I'm going to show you in this one too. So kind of hang in there. Okay, once you get the right book, what you do is you just start tearing out pages. I keep this front page because it's part of the papers that line the book, okay? I keep the second page because it's attached to the paper that lines the book. And then I keep one more. I keep 3. And then I start tearing. I tear out 8. So I would tear out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I tear them out one at a time, just like this. Oh, I keep 3 and I will tear out 8. So I just start tearing. I don't use anything. I just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you have any little papers that poke out like this, I just try to pinch some of that off. But I don't worry about all this part because that's going to help hold it together. So I've torn out my 8 pages, and then I'm going to take one page, and this page is going to attach to the page before it because it will hide all the torn. Okay, so that page goes down, that's 1, and then I flip 2 more over. 1, 2, so that's 3 total, okay? But the first page is going to actually be glued to the one in front of it. And then I flip over 2 more. So it's 1, 2, 3. And then I tear out 8 more. And then 1, 2, 3. And I do this on books anywhere from, 250 to up pages. This one has 300. That's a good size book. That's an average size book. So again, this is your front cover. This is part of your book paper. So I turn that. This page is actually attached to your book paper. So I turn that. And then I turn 1 more. I turn 3 over. I pull out 8 individual pages. Then I turn 3 over. 1, 2, 3. I pull out 8, repeat. So it's 3, 8, save 3, pull out 8, save 3, pull out 8. Okay? Very, very simple. And you end up with a lot of book pages. So I suggest if you like to send happy mail or just to use them, because we will go through them. Now here's a book I've already started. So I'm down, almost finished. As you can see, there's a lot of pages missing out of this one, okay? And I marked where I'm started. I've already turned over my 3, so it says pull 8. So we're going to go ahead and pull out 8. And you have to pull in different books as you get lower in the book. And if you get extra paper down here, just remember you can pull it out, but you don't want to pull it all out. I like to pull the bigger pieces out, but that's it. And this is 4. 5. 6. 7. And 8. Okay, there's my 8. I've got as much of this as I can get out. Like I said, a little bit's left. Okay, you just don't want really big torn pages left in your crease. And then you flip over 3. 1, 2, 3, and then 8, 3, 8, 3. Okay, when you get done, then you come back and you have an altered book ready to decorate. Now this part really seems confusing to people about how you create the pages on an altered book. And I'm going to tell you the most simple thing anybody could tell you. Treat them just like regular signature pages. Yes, they are attached, but they are just signature pages. And I think that's the disconnect with altered books, is the pages are already attached, so we're not thinking in the form of signatures, of a page on a signature. We're thinking it's a book page attached. What do we do? And it freaks us out. But just treat it like any other signature page. And I'm going to give you some ideas and some inspiration, and then you will take off and you'll be so surprised. Okay. So I always leave the liner paper and the paper that's connect to it. I always turn that. And then I always turn that. And then the next page, I make my title page. You can do this however you want and decorate however you want. Like I said, this is just for inspiration. So this page is part of my cover. So I turn it over and it's going to stay right there. Now this next page I want to be my cover page. And this journal, when I'm done pulling all the pages out, will be a vintage kitchen garden kind of cookbook. It's going to be like farm to table kind of food recipes in here, because I love to cook and I always need space for that. So this is just going to be my cover page. I want this to tell me when I open this journal or this altered book what this is about. So I just went and pulled some scrapbook paper that I already had. Nothing has been bought. I'm using my stash for this. And I cut out a scrapbook paper to fit that paper. Okay, it fits. I traced it. The way I got it to fit so good was I put a full sheet of scrapbook paper underneath. I traced around the page. I cut it out and boom, there's my title page. Okay, what I will do is I will glue that down. I like Elmer's glue. If you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that. If you just started watching me, I like Elmer's glue. It works, and it's inexpensive, and I'd rather spend my money doing my crafts on other things than glue. And it dries fast for me. I've never had any problems with it. But that's me. And again, everybody is their own. I did a glue comparison. And I did like the Elmer's glue that does glue paper and fabric. That one's like the best. But, you know, good old Elmer's glue is the one I keep going back to. So anyway, I will glue this down, okay? And this will be my cover page. And then I thought I would put this decorative card that says welcome to the coop. I'll trim it down so it fits, and that will be my title page for this altered book, okay? Then that's going to be attached. This will be the next page that I need to do something with. I have several options. Of course, it's got book information here. I can take some gesso and just wipe this out. I can put a piece of coffee stain paper on this side, which is what I'm planning on doing. And I'm going to write what I want this journal to be about, or what this journal is going to be about. So I would probably put some coffee stained notebook paper on this side, and I'm going to write to myself, to whoever looks at, why I created this journal. Okay? Then this one has the name of the book, and I would cover that probably with a belly band and make it like, or a little pocket, and I'd have a pocket and then plenty of writing room because both sides are blank. Why cover that up, or why do anything to it when I can write? If I wanted it decorated, I could use washi around the edges. I could draw on it. I could use lace, whatever. Now this is my first full page. So what would I do here? Well, again, I have some writing space here. So I would just cover this up. And again, I might white it out with gesso. I might put a big pocket across there. I might take one of these and make a pocket across there and then use it as a pocket and be able to write on it. So you have to use what you want the book to be to dictate how the pages look. And that's true with any journal, altar book, a planner, anything we make. What it's going to be used for determines how it looks. Okay, and then you would just go through and, okay, say you want this to be totally covered. You don't want to see any of the book pages, which is cool. How would you do it? I personally would get some paper, maybe not as stiff as this, but some paper, and I think I pulled some out of my stash. Oh, I pulled some colored, and this says cardstock, but I don't think it's as stiff as this. Let's see. I honestly don't remember, so we're going to have to open it and see. Can I not open it? Of course not. Alright, and I'm going to pull out a piece of... of yellow. Yellow and orange just scream food to me. And this is not fall themed by any means. I'm just pulling. I want a light color just so you can see better. I don't see a yellow, so I'll just pull out this color. Because it does go with some of the colors in here. And it's softer, it's more flexible, so I would come in, measure my page. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this under here. And I'm jamming this paper way far into the spine when I trace it because I want it to fit as snugly as possible when I glue it. And that helps cut down on bulk too if you can get it as far into that spine as possible. I'm going to get my pen. And I'm going to trace the page size onto the paper. And it's that simple. And then I will come back and cut that out. But before I cut it out, I might want to add another layer of paper, and I might go sew around it. And then once I decorate this, I'll come back and glue it down on my attached book page, okay? And then I'll go to the other side, and it's blank, so I might leave it blank. Then the next one I'll decorate is here. But maybe you don't want to leave any blank. That's totally up to you. Maybe you want to doodle. Maybe you just want to put lace around the edges. Maybe you want to put washi. Maybe you want to paint on these pages. You can do whatever you want. How you decorate is totally individual. The setup of making sure you don't have too many pages is the most important. That's why it's really important to make sure you get a book with individual pages that you can pull out and do the 3-8 method. That way you'll get a nice sized journal or altered book, but it won't be so clumpy that you have alligator mouth and it's like this the whole time, okay? But always remember, how you decorate something is totally personal. And, embrace it and don't try to copy somebody else's style. And even if you do try to copy somebody else's style, which if you're beginning is fine, you'll see over time that your style is emerging, even if it started out as copying somebody else's style. All right, so you will put this in, put your title page, come do this. Now, somebody also is probably wondering, what's gesso? Where can I get it? And let me show you what gesso is. But let's talk about gesso too. This is clear gesso. Gesso can be clear, white, or black, okay? And all it does is, if it's white, it covers the words. If it's black, it covers the words. Has a grit to it, so you can write on it, you can paint on it, you can attach things to it. Clear gesso also has a grit, but you can see like a book page through it, okay? So if you're trying to cover up the words and create a grit, you would want white. Gesso is expensive though, okay? So what you can do is mix a little baking soda with white paint and you'll get that same grit texture. Then you can attach stuff to it, you can write on it or whatever. And it's way cheaper to take white paint and baking soda versus gessos. So I just have mine from years. They're probably not even any good, honestly, because I haven't used them, and which proves they're a waste of money as much as you use them. So from now on, I would definitely do white paint with baking soda, and I'll leave a ratio down below in the description. So anyway, an altered book is just a book where you get a nice balance of pages in it by pulling out some, and then you just decorate them like you would any signature. And like I said, just practice decorating signature pages attached if you're a little afraid to do an altered book yet. Attach your signature pages, then decorate them. Because I always decorate my signature pages first, and I think that's why in the beginning I had such a hard translation into an altered book. Now it's second nature. I can decorate whether it's attached or not attached. It doesn't. So let's attach this and see how it's going to look. And you can see also I'll glue some of these pages together so you can see what it looks like to cover up some of the torn out areas. Like again, here's the torn out. You will probably have in your book as well, because when you tear pages out, it's just inevitable that you're going to leave a little bit of residue behind. And I'll show you 2 ways you can deal with that. 1, you can just glue the pages together and that's it. And 2, you could glue them together but make a pocket. Now, my next video coming up next week will be an altered book of pockets. So stay tuned for that. So I've got my good old Elmer's glue. I'm going to go to my first page that I'm going to cover up the torn. There's the torn right in there. You see it. And the first way I'm going to do it is I'm just going to glue the pages together. That's all I'm going to do. So I'm going to put just a bead and I kind of smoosh it out. Just a thin line all the way around and down, and then an X in the center. Very thin, not glopped it a lot. Okay, very thin. And then I'm just going to push it down. And there we go. Now I have these 2 pages glued together. I'm just going to kind of run them between my hands. I just want to make sure I don't glue them to the page behind them or in front of them. Okay, and there we go. There's a glued in page now. That will be a thicker page. So I might want to come back with some coffee stained copy paper on this one. Or I might just want to cover it with my white paint and my baking soda so I can just decorate it with some lace or some painting of my own, some doodling or whatever. Because it's a pretty thick page now because I glued the 2 together. And as you'll see, you don't see any more torn part because it's actually hidden in between the pages. Another way you could do this is to, okay, here I am again. There's the tear from tearing out the pages. I'm going to take my page in front, this page right here, because there's the tear right there. And I'm going to fold this part over to where it meets there. I'm going to fold that down. And then I'm going to come in with my glue and make a thin line around the bottom and the side. And I'm making a pocket, and it's going to cover up the torn part from the 8 pages. Okay, and I did it on the folded side just so I could make sure it was in the right place and I wasn't over gluing anywhere. If you have any squeeze out, just make sure you wipe it off before you let it touch the page behind. And there we go. We have a pocket now. This part you can also come back and put a little glue on it so it stays down. Just at the top there. Okay. There we go. Now I have a tuck spot here and a pocket here, and the torn pages are gone. So it's a really cool way to do things. And you flip it over and you keep going. Okay. So neat way to do that as well. Last thing with altar books is, what do you do with the outside? You do whatever you want. Literally, you can cover the book with fabric. You can decoupage all over it. You can just cover up the spine if you want. Do you? Okay? That's all I'm going to say. Do you? Because you are creative and you can do it. Now, let's talk dust jackets though. Those things that come on the books that we take off. What can you do with those? My advice is keep them. They can make great art canvases. They can make great, if you decorate with just stacks of books and they're white, most of them are white inside, you can fold them the other way. Put them on books and have a beautiful, like, decor piece in your home. Just like that. Just fold them the opposite way. Put them on the book. You could put Live, Love, Laugh on the spine if you're doing shabby chic. You could do red letters, green letters if you're doing Christmas. You could do fall. You could do whatever you want. But the great trick with the dust jackets is to flip them inside out and use them in your home as decor pieces. Use them as art. Now, art paper, but let me say, they're shiny on the inside. So you will need to coat them with that white paint and baking soda mixture. Or you will need to coat them with gesso because they'll need that grip because they are slick, and painting on slick does not work, okay? You can put stickers if you want to do washi tape and do like a collage of washi tape or images. That'll work on here. So you could do that as well and use them as book covers again, or just use them like this and put them up on the wall as an art piece. So every part of a book is useful. You are not just destroying a book because you're pulling pages out. And remember, all these pages, these are base papers for tags, for pockets. They can be flip-ins, tip-ins, flip-outs on planners and junk journals and mixed media pieces. They can be part of collage. These can be whatever you imagine. Envelopes, bookmarks, ATC trading card, ATCs, or artist trading cards, or gardener trading cards. Remember the video from last time? You don't have to be an artist to have ATCs. So these can be anything, so don't get rid of them. But here is a warning. If you give pages, make sure the content on the page is not offensive. If it is, then I recommend keeping it or just totally painting over it before you send it out. That's just being respectful of yourself and of others. Be sure and check out the end of the video where I do a flip through of some pages in the altered book for you. So guys, thanks for being here today. I hope you enjoyed this video about altered books. If you did, please be sure and hit that subscribe button and that little bell. It really helps me as my channel grows. I'm trying to do this as a living. My husband had a stroke, and it's just important to me to grow my channel and have that potential for income. I'm being honest with you, so I would really appreciate it if you'd hit the subscribe button and the little bell. Also, if you like this video, it takes 1 second to give it a thumbs up. Again, that just helps me out. Leave me a comment down below. What is your problem? Do you have a fear of doing an altered book? Or do you have like something holding you back? Let me know down below in the comments. Thanks for being here today, guys. I super appreciate you, and I will see you next week for our altered book of pockets. Bye till then. Take care.